Hi there, welcome back to Being Your Ray. Today, I just want to share with you something beautiful that I saw in a YouTube video, as usual, and my thoughts around it and how it impacted me and things like that. More than impact, it's like something I can relate to so well and understand the Wala part. So, yeah, here it goes. I was watching this near death experience wala video where this person who's an atheist dies and they go to the spiritual realm, learn a lot of lessons, and they need to come back on earth, which they're not excited about, but that happens. And yeah, after they have this new experience of life and understand what is real, what isn't, and how they want to live. So they go down this path of meditating and being very grateful for everything, and that helped them become more centered in their life. उसके पहले they were doing like this job, क्या बोलते हैं, she was a writer, like a scientific articles जो लोग लिखते हैं, I don't know what it is called, but yeah, that's what she did. And yeah, she was very set in her ways and ऐसे एकदम not in touch with spirituality and things like that. And after this whole shift, she did not know how to go about her life. Things were unknown, but she felt better about it. So she just started looking at life differently, even though it felt like stepping into the unknown and, yeah, not living on autopilot. And that word got to me because so many of us live in that autopilot mode. I know I have. And that is the one thing that really bugs me, that I don't want to give the authority of my life or the control that I have or the awareness. मेरा awareness कोई छीन ले मुझसे and I am just living on autopilot because all that means is someone else or something else is controlling your life and you are just following. I don't want to be following, I want to be leading. So, yeah, that shift from being on autopilot or just following things to now taking charge and leading has been a huge, huge change. And I do not have the words to describe it, but I'm glad she brought it up. And now I can also relate to it and share how I have been through that journey as well, because it really feels like there's no hope for you, and you will always end up living a life that you weren't meant to live or isn't something you truly feel. And I know I keep talking about this, but I can't help the fact that it is still so rampant and still there's so much work that needs to be done. And every time I get a chance, every time something sparks within me, which reminds me of that change and how much I want to see that in the world, I am going to come up here and talk about it so that if you are living in that space, if you are on autopilot right now, at least you have the realization and awareness that, oh, yeah, right, I am living on autopilot. I haven't heard myself in ages. I don't even know what my voice is. I don't know what I feel on a soul level. I don't think I even have a soul because I'm not trying to go into like a dark place, but just sharing the thoughts that I had at as a 18-year-old or something. So yeah, it is very painful, especially as a child. It is not fun. I also want to share like one of my biggest inspirations in this journey, something that a friend told me and has stayed with me ever since. This was when I was 19 or 20, I guess, and I was just starting to discover myself. like this whole concept of there's a soul that is different from the body, and it contains real wisdom and all of those things. And yeah, this was the time when I was introduced to writing and I started taking it seriously and felt very different for the first time. Different in the sense that when I say the state of flow, you forget what is happening around you. The world stops to exist. It's just you and your expression, your form of expression, and this moment of absolute presentness. I don't know if that is even a word, but yeah, when you are so present that you've forgotten about all that exists. Like you are in your bubble, wala cheese, but in a good way. So I had not experienced that way before. Maybe as a child, but I don't have that much memory, kitne baar hua hai वैसा. But at least as an adult, that was very new to me because I was so used to always being worried, always thinking about the future, these like ranks and marks and all of that entrance wala cheese just when I was stuck into. So there was never a peaceful moment where I would have forgotten what is happening in the world or me just expressing myself. It was a long time before I had felt my essence. So, yeah, I had literally forgotten about it. And now that I was introduced to it, I was very shocked. I was scared, but I was also excited about this new feeling. I wanted to discover it further. I wanted to take it further. And yeah, since I was very new to it, and I had this mixed bag of emotions all the time. Like I was fighting all the norms that were surrounding us, and at the same time gathering courage to stick to my path and my truth and all of those things, passion. So, yeah, during that phase, there was this one time when I was feeling super low and I felt like I won't be able to keep going on this path because it just felt like I had to keep challenging myself so much with my thoughts, beliefs, ideas, actions every single day. And it is so much more easier to live on autopilot, to have a system that has been placed for years and everyone does the same thing and there's this template. So, yeah, there was always like this war that I had within me, and going into the unknown is always scary. And since that was like those were my initial years, I was all the more scared. And I was just talking to this friend and being like, I don't know if I can do it, and this is too much, and I've not dealt with something like that. It's beautiful, okay, but I don't know if it will lead to something, or there are so many questions around it. I'm so confused about it, and yeah, it's so much more easier to give up. And this friend of mine just goes like, if you give up right now, what about all of those little 18-year-old Riyas? So my name is Riya. Okay, you get, I think not a lot of people know that, or maybe people would have understood that because I talk a lot about my LinkedIn and stuff. But, anyways, if you did not know, my name is Riya. And so this friend just goes, what about all of those girls, those little Riyas who wished more, wanted more from life, and could not have that because you gave up and you didn't try harder or something on those lines. I'm When I say it, it still sounds like very motivational and aspirational, but when they said it, it was more from a place of genuine friendship, advice, and yeah, something very true. And that was very special to me because all of these things that I'm doing are not just like every time someone goes through something, and if I am able to add any sort of value to them with my words, with my work, whatever little way possible, it is my way of healing my 18-year-old self and what she has felt and the kind of turmoil she has gone through. And at that point, if she just had someone to say that, I've also been through this, don't worry, this is what you can try out, and it's completely normal, and let me support you in your journey, and let's do this together. We will go through every single tide together and try to understand things deeply. We won't just leave these things halfway because it really means a lot to us. And yeah, I don't think I've mentioned this before, but I've spoken to a lot of people online through my LinkedIn page, and it's just one call with them, and the kind of stuff that they say really warms my heart so much that I want to keep doing it more. And every time I see someone who's in the similar space that I have been, I want to do everything possible on my end to get them out of it, because I can physically feel how that emotion is and how it eats you up alive. So yeah, anyway, every time I get the thought of, I don't know if I'm made for this and if I can keep going with all the uncertainty that comes along with it. And yeah, those negativities that my mind comes up with at times, I go back to that particular line and I'm just like, if I give up, what about those other 18-year-olds who could have had a better life and like some sort of direction, some sort of hope, some ray of light in their life. And now maybe they wouldn't. And I know that's not true. Everyone has their own way to cope with things and they will find their way out. But it means a lot to me because the journey is shared. It's no more an individual journey now. It's like personal to me. The moment I see a lost soul, it's like this is personal to me. This is something that I have faced close up. And I feel if I have been able to move forward from that situation, even by 1%, I want that person to move ahead as well. It's that personal to me. And their success matters as much as mine. So, yeah, that like I would tear up just talking about this. It is that beautiful and meaningful to me. So I know I'm still not there and I'm still not perfect, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But as I said, I know at least I've made 1% of progress. I know I'm not my 18-year-old self right now, and things have changed for the better. So if I can just listen to someone who's going through that, even that would be me playing my part in their life somehow. And who knows how much that would matter to them and what kind of change that would bring. Because every time you think like you don't matter, your words don't matter, your क्या बोलते हैं, place in life does not matter, remind yourself about everything that has impacted you. Like, at least for me personally, these little videos on YouTube or something that I've read in a book, those are the ways that I've discovered myself through meditations and through suggestions. And I just feel like that is universe's way of giving me the right messages at the right time, something that I absolutely needed to hear. So I don't know who needs to hear it, but maybe it will come to them at the right time. And I trust universe and its way. So yeah, I know I need to share my experiences and try to as vocal about it, because that's the kind of world I aspire to live in and want to create myself. And that won't happen by just imagining and dreaming. That would happen by putting my thoughts across, doing work around it, connecting with people who are on the same page. So this is just me doing my part. And yeah, maybe through my story and my experiences, someone finds themselves. There's no bigger gift than that for me sitting in my room and recording an audio with literally zero downside. So yeah, it got a bit heavy in the sweetest way possible, but that was just a little sneak peek का दूसरा word क्या है? My vocabulary is so limited. मतलब I need to find better words. But yeah, again, a little sneak peek into my story, my inspiration, what keeps me going even till this day, and will continue to. And I know I have many such inspirations, but this is the one that holds like a special place. So, yeah, that's all from me. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.